What if your own bed, your place of rest, was silently killing you? In the Middle Ages, the deadliest weapons weren't swords or arrows. They were everyday things: your pillow, your dinner, your beauty routine. What people trusted the most was what destroyed them from the inside. Let's start where every day ended, in bed. Forget soft pillows and fresh sheets. Medieval mattresses were sacks stuffed with straw or feathers. They were rarely changed, often reused for years, even generations. Inside? An ecosystem of nightmares: fleas, lice, mites, bedbugs, and rats. But not just any fleas, Xenocilla Chiopes, the silent carrier of the Black Death. Just lying down at night meant opening your veins to disease. One bite was all it took. And if you think nobility had it better, you're wrong. Rich nobles avoided water, rarely bathed, and slept in elaborate beds made of silk and velvet. But that silk was never washed. It absorbed sweat, oils, perfumes, dirt, dead skin. They believed water weakened the body. So they'd sleep dirty, doused in musky oils and fat-based perfumes. A noble's bed wasn't cleaner. It was just more expensive death. And the bedrooms? No ventilation. Heavy tapestries trapped dust. Smoke from hearth fires choked the air. Sleeping in a medieval bedroom was like living in a slow-burning chimney. Occasionally, people did try to clean themselves by going to public bathhouses. At first glance, they seemed luxurious: steam, warm water, conversation. But the truth? They were disease incubators. The water was reused all day. Dozens, sometimes hundreds, bathed in the same pool. Dead skin, sweat, blood, urine, and worse floated freely. Add in open sores, sexual activity, and contagious diseases? You left dirtier than you arrived. The result: fear. A new belief took over. Water is dangerous. So they stopped bathing and started masking the stench. Instead of removing filth, they perfumed it. Men and women alike wore pomanders, silver or gold balls filled with spices and herbs, around their necks. They believed these would purify the air. But in reality, they trapped moisture, mold, and rot. These fashion statements were chemical bombs of bacteria. They didn't eliminate odor. They fermented it. Some even carried bouquets of flowers near their faces when walking the streets, just to avoid the stench of others. The entire world smelled like a battlefield of human decay, only dressed up in lavender. Now imagine sitting at a royal banquet. The table is filled with roasted meats, pies, wine, and bread. Looks impressive, right? But none of it is fresh. No refrigeration meant meat spoiled fast. They'd mask the decay with layers of pepper, cinnamon, or vinegar. A steak could be green and slimy, but served with pride. For the poor, it was worse. They ate moldy bread, thin soups, and spoiled scraps. They chewed through parasites, bacteria, and filth. Stomach pain was a daily experience. Diarrhea was normal. And people often died without knowing what hit them. Doctors? They didn't save you. They sped things up. Medieval medicine was based on balancing humors. Too sad? You had too much black bile. Too energetic? Too much yellow bile. The solution? Leeches. Bloodletting. Purging. If you had a fever, they'd drain your blood. If you had a rash, they'd rub mercury into it. Mercury, yes, the liquid metal. They believed it expelled toxins. In reality, it damaged organs, caused tremors, blindness, hallucinations. Patients shook, drooled, screamed, and then died. But everyone thought the treatment was working. And thirst? Don't even think about water. Water from rivers and wells was poisoned by human waste, rotting animals, and disease. So they turned to beer and wine. Even children drank beer. It was considered safer, but was it really? Beer was brewed in unclean barrels with unpredictable ingredients. Sometimes it was moldy. Other times it was mixed with herbs that caused seizures or hallucinations. People collapsed from alcohol poisoning regularly. They thought it was fate. It was just contaminated barley. Now imagine the rich sipping wine, every evening, every meal. But the wine wasn't the problem. It was the cup. Nobles drank from lead goblets. Lead made wine taste sweeter. What they didn't know was that lead also caused kidney failure, neurological damage, infertility, stillbirths, paranoia and madness. Historians now suspect that many royal figures who went mad were simply poisoned by their own tableware. And the women? They suffered a different kind of poison. The ideal woman had flawless, porcelain-white skin. So they created beauty creams and powders made with lead, mercury, and arsenic. These weren't just cosmetics. They were lethal toxins. Women applied them daily. First came the smooth complexion, then the ulcers, then the hair loss, then the internal bleeding. They quite literally died beautiful. To make it worse, they reapplied the makeup to hide the side effects, never realizing the makeup itself was the cause. It was a vicious, invisible cycle. And the homes they lived in? Wooden, cramped, with no windows. They cooked indoors, on open flames, often with dung or damp, moldy logs. The smoke turned every home into a gas chamber. No chimney, no draft. Children wheezed from age 5. Adults coughed blood by 30. Respiratory failure was so common, it didn't even have a name. It was just life. Now step back. No war. No battle. No villain. Just everyday routines. Sleeping. Eating. Drinking. Getting dressed. All deadly. Backhand index pointing right if this opened your eyes. Imagine what else is hidden behind history's curtain. Hit subscribe and join us as we uncover the terrifying truths no one told you.